Vampire like if the
Vampire is
legendary
just
rock
George
band,
Michael.
if the legendary
George
rock
Michael as
band,
a vampire.
yeah.
Vampire was actually a band.
Wait,
Wow.
really?
Yep.
Well, shit.
I love it.
Oh,
I'm
do
here
they
for it.
suck or are they good?
I don't know. There's some indie
Did
band.
they do Wham covers dressed up in like goth?
The only
I'd
Wham,
watch that.
the only Wham song that matters is Last Christmas. Let's be honest.
Exactly. Last blood lost when I gave you a bite.
Last frenzy.
Nice. So I did make it through Whamageddon this year. I did not ascend to Whamhalla.
Seems a little
Oh,
too
we're live.
easy
We're
if the
actually
covers
live.
don't count,
And
'cause those are like
you let me
prevalent.
sing live?
Yes,
What
I
is
did.
wrong
Somebody
with you?
clip
How
that shit.
dare
Somebody
you?
clip that shit immediately.
That means I also
right
sang live.
now.
I hate you.
Clip and I'll make clip it right now, and
Fine.
I'll make Shelly take an extra.
That was
100
so
at-
awful, Damon
at the
left.
beginning.
Okay, what are we?
All right. I think
get
he'll
down to
be
business.
back. I think he'll be back.
Let's get down to business to defeat the ghost.
Hey, Charles Fox, the magnificent Charles Fox. Thank you so much for 11 years of support.
All the years.
11 years. I say that sometimes, and people are so used to like other streamers' jokes. They're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Ha, the best kind of joke, the one that nobody gets." I'm sorry. So, welcome y'all. I'd like to remind you that Chat Gang ain't nothing to fuck with, and whilst I'll do that, I'll welcome you to episode. What episode are we on? Is this
17.
17.
I believe it was 17.
I can't believe we're 17 episodes deep.
17 deep. Look, I always try to go 17 deep where possible.
No, stop it. Quit while you're ahead.
Look, it's usually 7.5, not 17.
I hate it. Thanks, man. So much.
Unnecessary.
I am running on fumes. Like, you thought that the crazy was going to be coming from Anne, who is jet lagged, caffeinated, all kinds of.
No, it's
Baldur's Gated.
Baldur's Gated.
Balls
So
deep
much
gated.
I just I am utterly gassed. It's been a day.
The 20-year-olds have been beating them up on the courtyard.
Yeah, on the maple, getting my ass kicked out there on the maple.
The 20-somethings really said 1v1 me.
1v1 me, bro.
No, actually, they're too scared to 1v1 me. They insisted today. They're like, "Hey, you got two more, bro?" And I'm like, go ask. Sorry, you got 3 more, bro? Why don't you go ask those 3 to play with us? Then we can play 5v5. They were cowards. They didn't want to play against just me and my friend Jaquan. So get fucked. I'd have played 5v2.
Oh my god.
Jacon's like 6'6", man. He's a fucking monster. But he would have carried me. It's all right. No, we did lose today, but we won 2 games yesterday, so that was pretty solid. And yesterday I got injured. Today I didn't. But I did get called White Lightning today, and that was pretty cool. Why would you derail me like that talking about the 20-somethings?
Funny.
No, it was a lot of logistics with the family stuff, and the kids were doing a fundraiser. So
It's because I didn't. It's because it was funny, and I didn't want to air your family business on the internet.
We were eating tacos, which I love, and I hope that if you have the opportunity, you also eat some tacos. And then
I did. I had mini tacos.
Nice, yeah. So, but we were eating tacos and assembling tacos while helping the kids with their homework. See, I was gonna make a eat tacos and then try to go 7 deep, and I didn't.
17 tacos deep.
No, cut that out.
I think it did.
Nonetheless, let's get into this disclaimer.
I think,
Who's gonna do the disclaimer?
yeah, I think whoever's gonna do it needs to read it twice though, because this has been spicy.
You know what? I'll say it since I segued us into that. Well, I'll do the disclaimer.
All right.
Jeez Louises. Hold on. The series Suman. The following show takes place in the world of darkness and explores narratives of personal horror. This story is a work of fiction and is not official World of Darkness material. Many of the themes are portrayed from a place of empathy and sometimes humor, but may be uncomfy for some listeners. Episodes may contain coarse language, sexual content, mental and emotional abuse, violence, mental illness, and blood. Lots and lots of blood. Viewer discretion is advised. Portions of the materials are the copyrights and trademarks of Paradox Interactive AB and are used with permission. All rights reserved. For more information, please visit worldofdarkness.com. Thank you for watching Endless Elegy. We hope you've enjoyed the story thus far and invite you to like, follow, and subscribe on Twitch or your favorite player. By doing this, you will help support the show, get updates when our next episode goes live, and if you would like to be part of the community, you can follow all of us on some social media platform and join our Discord. All links are in the doobly-doo. Also, Free Palestine.
I know this one works. I can't remember where I put the things. Have your handles, but they are in the down there part. And there's the Discord link. So tonight's adventure not brought to you by Burt's Beeswax, which I was applying liberally there in the during the whole thing. There it is, family. That's the command.
You still haven't added Scott.
He doesn't want to be added here. I'll fix it right now. And while I fix it, someone do a real quick recap, starting with the non-people about to be possessed.
Ashley is now the Ventru Primogen of Chicago.
Yes.
And it's
Sasha
declared
is-
war on First Light. There you go.
Chicago is doomed.
Sasha decided to spy on her ex using her Auspex while in the middle of Elysium. She's just vibing.
As one does.
And
Zora
so
why
there's a
dude.
cult. There's a cult.
Oh,
There's
she overheard some weird culty shit. I forgot
Weird
about
culty
that.
shit.
Oh yeah,
Already knew.
Seven
about-
kindred with moon phases, shrouded faces. Sasha Sire has a full moon on his body. And
there's some fucking weird
Lots of
shit
people have a full
happening.
moon on their body.
I feel like there's a
Show you
joke
a
to be
moon.
made there,
That's
but
exactly
I'm too
it.
jet lagged for it. Too jet lagged to make it.
Boom.
Get a fun.
You
Listen,
asked
I'm
Incantabot,
caffeinated, but I'm still
Incantabot
tired.
delivers.
Thank
You know,
you,
I think-
Cantabot.
I think part of the
Right.
reason I've been having issues, like on
Favorite
like
Mexican
on our
place
streams
to-
and stuff, is that like my Adderall crash is probably coming about the time I'm supposed to be starting the game, or shortly before or something. Which I don't crash hard, I suppose, but it's enough to like, have a little bit of a lull. All right. So, new Primogen of Chicago, Ventru Primogen, which has been
Has not been vacant that long.
I was going to say,
It's been vacant like 12 hours.
No, it's been vacant for like 3 weeks.
it's,
Probably.
I
The
mean,
devil works fast. Ashley works faster.
I think he almost accidentally gave away the ghost of like how long William's been dead.
yeah, way to
Don't worry
stop
about it.
that from happening. Thank you.
It's
Look,
okay.
sometimes-
Earlier he said he had to open up the Blood Gods book, so
Look, Mephisto says a lot of things.
That's true.
It's like Duffman says a lot of things. it's such a horrible comedy bit and has not aged well because it basically is, it's assault. But it's still funny, and I'm a horrible person. If you're not familiar, it's a Simpsons episode where
Oh, I don't watch Simpsons.
Duffman, it's implied that Duffman has a one-night stand with a woman. And she's like, "But I thought you were going to." And he's like, "Duffman says a lot of things." And then he yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. It's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, comedy of all art forms has the shortest shelf life, because it is subversive and transgressive.
Ever-changing.
Yeah, it's transgressive by nature, and so whatever the culture is that's being transgressed against or subverted, it's going to change. And
Except
the
for
great
puns. They're always
and
great.
well, yeah, and the great comedians know how to change with the
Mm.
times. That's why the ones who whine about getting canceled and shit, and you can't say anything. I bet you couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. Yeah, well, why would you make Blazing Saddles today? Mel Brooks would make a different film that was also awesome. Like fuck off. It was a great film for its time, and we can appreciate it as such. But don't everyone's so easily offended. Are you kidding me? I think people's tolerance is greater than it's ever been for bullshit. We're millennials. The world is on fire. It's burning. We have a high threshold for tolerating bullshit. It's just
And we didn't start the fire.
no.
It was
We
always
actually didn't.
burning.
We actually didn't. Unlike that motherfucking boomer Billy Joel.
Hi, Shelly.
How much health do I have now? 1, 2, 3, 4,
Enough.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Not enough.
Enough. All
Ah,
right.
Sasha needs more fortitude.
So as mentioned previously, a Elysium occurred, a week in the future, where Ashley and Sasha get to be. And maybe the camera hasn't panned far right enough to show Damon and Rory are at Elysium, watching their coterie member become the Ventru Primogen. Maybe they're elsewhere, or maybe they didn't make it out of that theater, which is something we're about to find out right now as Damon and Rory sort of
Bum, bum.
stand astride a magic circle that is sort of decorated with runic magic, the blood of Rory and Damon's alarmingly malleable shadow. And the Static Man has breached the theater, with the stage, and they were definitely putting on a Alice in Wonderland play. You can see little set pieces from the when you do something like this, subtlety is lame, because we all know what you're doing, and if you're trying to be subtle with the set pieces, then you're pretending that you're more clever than your audience, and you're not. So it's going to be like one of the most iconic scenes, which definitely the caterpillar token it. No, it's the Tea Party. Let's be honest, it's the fucking Tea Party, because the Tea Party always had a vaguely magic ritual vibe to it anyway. For me, it really, if you film it a little different and you put a couple different set pieces on that table, it might as well be some sort of binding ritual or some shit, or where they're trying to so of course the set pieces are all old, dilapidated, in states of disrepair, but we can identify little bits of them, uh the ones that remain. And in fact, the disarray in them adds a weird sort of contrast to the scene. Static Man doesn't so much jaunt, run, or anything towards the stage where the seal is drawn, so much as he sort of blinks forward, not in the celerity fashion, but between sort of blinks of eyes, these jerky motions sort of transpose themselves forward, and he just sort of covers distance. You see the limbs move, but they just eh, eh, they don't make sense. And the more your mind tries to make sense of it, the more alarming this creature becomes. He's to the stage. The ritual, you can see the magic energies, you can see Rory's blood, his veins. Usually when it's been his kind of thing when he's really gone, when he's used his blood magic at sort of full power. You've seen the runes sort of actually like his veins glow through, and you sort of see his, that, and that's not unlike any other time he's cast a spell. But what color do like Rory's veins? Do they pulsate with like a crimson or burgundy? Like what color do his veins? Do they go like a blue white magic? What color do his veins normally go when he uses his blood magic?
Like a reddish purple.
Okay. You see them tip a little bit more into the purple hue, and then the purple hue goes black as they sort of your hands hover above the magic seal, and there's a resonance between you, Damon, and this seal that you're channeling into, and it's almost like the seal pushes back against you, and that sort of
Oh, shit.
reverberation through your fingers, and we even see like your you know it kind of like get shocked backwards, and where you had wounded yourself to conjure forth your blood, those wounds split wider, and you see your blood almost like sort of seep into the seal and then backlash, and it almost sort of like Mercury in zero gravity. And for a moment, it suspends outside your body, and these little tendrils like lash back into you, and it stops like sort of in your forearms, and you are fighting it. You didn't roll 0 successes. You perform magic. It's just the magic is maybe it's too alien being combined with oblivion. Maybe it's magic's always kind of, some would say it's almost got a will or a mind of its own, and you're competing with it anytime you use it. Right now, Rory's not winning that competition. Damon,
Damon?
who's focused on the seal, notices, but he has to, channel as well. Yeah, Rory calls out Damon. Damon, what's his reaction?
I might have fucked up a little bit. You might want to go if you get a chance.
And you're gonna just what? Stay here?
Better only one of us dies.
Hmm. Well, if the ritual works at all, he should be slowed down enough for us to get away if you want to try.
As you say those words, the static man is standing in the seal, his hands on Rory's face. One elongated thumb almost, reaching the back of his head, his other fingers at once sort of invading his cheeks and stuff like that, but also sort of stretching back and firm grip on the back of the head. Again, the static man's dimensions, they don't make sense. And Rory, you hear what sounds like a child screaming at first. For an instant, Damon hears it as well, like outside somewhere, in that sort of three-dimensional distant somewhere. And then the scream sort of like matches pitch and harmonizes with the scream Rory himself is unleashing. Damon, he has stepped in the seal, and you have managed to conjure a pretty decent. Well, you've put a good amount of channeling into the spell. Rory did his job. He at least drew it correctly. You know, he performed the magic sort of basics correctly. The stuff that Damon really isn't you know, up on. It's really part of the channeling where for whatever reason Rory faltered. And you still have some control here. And you can even feel almost like here that white noise that you keep hearing that just sort of like waxes in and waxes and wanes. It's almost like you're wearing like a pair of headphones, and like it's localized and stuff to you, and it is unsettling for sure. But you can almost, if for whatever reason, it makes a little bit of like sense to you, like a weird sort of rhythm, and sort of as you're looking at the soon to be completely helpless Rory and the Static Man, you can't help but feel that they both look a little bit like marionettes to you. And you can practically see these strings. In Rory's case, it's his blood anchoring him down to the seal. In the Static Man's case, they kind of go out in many directions, but the bulk of them kind of in a wake behind him. Not too dissimilar to that sort of these threads you had seen coming out of the building itself. You can just kind of tell from the path that they head back towards Janet. If you were in earlier adventures, you would notice that there were rifts that had a similar sort of thing going, where these tendrils kind of reach back through these rifts and stuff like that.
Wasn't sorry to
Go ahead.
interrupt.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wasn't there a rift at the apartment?
Hmm. And the museum
Ah,
and the Overlook Tavern. And
he was at the apartment. That's why I was just like, wait, he's seen one of the rifts probably, right?
oh yeah, then you saw the one at the apartment then. Yeah, so it's not too dissimilar from that. While you mull what to do next, and while we had this nice little like scream, this almost like child screaming, we will cut away to Sasha real quick. By way of hearing Ashley continuing, like we hear Ashley's speech about war in the first, like kind of in the background, but Sasha's senses are elsewhere right now, and this cult, firmly established cult, asks, "And what of the child? Have we found her?" They asked about the artist, as you'll recall, at the end of last session, or during last session. They were talking about the artist. And what of the child? We are waiting. There seems to be a unanticipated interloper. Someone has been working against us, or someone's. The last agents we sent came back with peculiar bullet holes in them. Long range. First light? No. Not so flashy. Someone trying to be discreet, but also effective against kindred. Curious. Not many can wield a firearm effectively in a manner that, well, then I suppose we need to figure out who these interlopers are. The half moon looks up in the direction of the gaze, which you are. So it's like they're looking at you, but they're, really looking at Zoran, right? We have an idea. And then Zoran's vision goes out.
Do I see an animal close by?
Where you're standing, yeah, like Zoran's senses go out, by the way, in this moment.
Okay, so I'm cut off now.
From Zoran, yeah.
Okay. I would like to approach Annabelle, and if I may, invoke my lore sheet. I haven't used it at all ever, but I am going to which one is it? Basically going to it's basically going to ask for, like, set her aside and like ask her for advice, or like, have a discussion with her, give her a heads up, and I'm gonna see if my lore sheet is at all helpful with that.
Shelly, while you look up your lore sheet, Shelly, I want you to deliver, like, pick up part of your, like, speech, like, midway and deliver a couple of, like, rousing lines.
Okay.
Yeah. To give the... Take your time to mull it over if you want, but the idea is that it's, like, kind of
Yeah.
simultaneous and stuff. I just think it's a nice little fact. So go ahead.
We
Whenever you're ready.
need strong authority in these times. Those who think you are comfortable, you are safe, you are not. You're living in a fantasy. Though we are the ivory tower, we shall not dwell in it forever. Remember what we are and what we're capable of. We are Chicago. We are its blood. We are its lifeline. We will keep this city safe and ours for eternity.
Why don't you go ahead and roll your charisma. What do we do? We did charisma persuasion or charisma leadership. Your dealer's choice.
I found the thing.
Yep.
I'm gonna invoke the first dot of my lore sheet in turn.
Mm-hmm.
It says, you may once per story may ask Annabelle for Annabelle's guidance on a particular matter. She may even decide to help you. So I'm gonna
Kind of like lean in and again, Elysium's the most dangerous place for Kindred. It truly is, because it's all the conversations that go on besides. It's the information. It's the trading of boons. It's the catching in on, like, it's the picking up on stuff. It's so choose your words wisely. What did you get?
Okay, so I always forget if this counts as a crit, but I got on the blood die, the one with the fangs, but I also
Mhm.
got an Ankh with 2 dots.
Yeah, so the
It
Ankh with
does.
2 dots. You need to have any other, like,
So
Ankh with
2 of those, yeah.
yeah, you need
with
two
Ankh
two
with
of the
dots.
double Ankhs, and that becomes 4.
Okay.
The
Okay, I
fangs
wasn't.
are only the scully fangy one.
Yeah.
That's only relevant for, like, you have that. If you failed the DC essentially, or the difficulty, then it means you have a messy.
Well, I have
not a
a
bloody failure.
skull. I have a
Bestial
skull
failure.
and that. I have a skull and the
Yep.
Ankh with fangs, and it's
Mhm.
5.
5 successes. This will not be a bestial failure. You're fine.
Cool.
I just want to gauge the sort of I'm pairing the role playing and the role playing, so you have like a good speech going, and we're pairing them together to see how convincing and stuff you are. All right. The crowd, you like the last time I had you roll like the sort of last chunk of your speech, we caught the sort of, and it's assumed that you're saying stuff in between, right?
Yeah.
You've been winning the crowd pretty decently, and this time rather than like a big murmurs across the crowd and so on and so forth. Oh, shoot. Hang on, I lost my notes page. Probably because I'm all the way on the back of my notebook.
It happens. It happens.
No, you're fine. Yeah, it does happen. See, my brain, it's dead. Why would I say no? You're fine. Like when and you're just like it happens. Oh, brain. You see, Sun, like give you a.
Wait, Sun's there?
Son Newberry was here, wasn't he? Yeah.
He didn't. You didn't say he was there.
Yeah,
Last time.
Son was supposed to be here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Son and Annabelle would both be there because they're the ones who sort of like.
Yeah, you told me that Annabelle was there and she was like near.
Maybe Son didn't. Maybe Son wasn't visible before because Malkavians can do that, but you see Son now, and he. Well, you know what? Why don't you roll? I can be more specific, but he gives you a It is vampire politics after all, so I think we should roll some dice because he's a pretty deft politician in his own right. So
do I have politics? No, I don't.
No, it's gonna be a wits. I think it's gonna be like a wits. Actually, I'm gonna go for like a wit subterfuge, or like a composure subterfuge. But wits is
it's
more
the same thing for me.
Wits is most appropriate. So do wits subterfuge. This is like a moves counter moves style stuff. Like you're familiar with, subterfuge and stuff like that. So you're sort of like decoding it.
I'm going to rouse my blood to get more dice.
I'm a fan.
I get hungrier.
Also a fan of that.
And that gives me 2 more, correct?
It's based on your blood potency, so probably 2 more.
I have 2.
I believe it's 2, and then at 3 it becomes 3.
Okay.
I actually have the cheat sheet right here. I opened it up because I knew I would need it. Where'd it go? Is it companion? Nope. It was companion. I'm just not on the right page.
That is 3 with the skull.
Okay. Were you gonna willpower to reroll?
No, because I only have. I mean, I could, but I used my willpower to reroll last time, so I'm not gonna try to use all my willpower.
You're gonna burn through all your willpower. So blood potency 2. Your surge is 2 dice. Yes. Yeah. At 3 it becomes 3.
Okay.
How many? 3?
3.
Okay. All right. Ty goes to player. He gives like on the surface, he's giving like a, like, oh yeah, sort of like approval, and sort of like leans over and he says something to like one of, someone in his like a Malkavian, probably, not like entourage per se, but he's a
like within the clan.
Yeah, within the clan. And he kind of like, says something. But his body language and like the way he like sort of slightly purses his lips and a little bit of a twist to his brow and stuff. His face, his non-verbal language says, fuck this person. I'm gonna have to take her seriously. And when he says I'm gonna have to take her seriously, it's got an air of
Like a threat.
a danger. It's not like projecting it to you by the way.
No. Like I could just like Ashley could just tell.
There's a threatening air to it. Like there's a
like you thought he probably thought she was like just another
easy
another William.
Yeah, someone who's gonna get in there, either be like a lame duck or someone to be manipulated.
Yeah.
And like it's for him this whole thing is a fucked up game of chess. And he backed you in part a bit of a Xanatos gambit, you're fucking awesome if you get that reference, by the way, everybody. He kind of backed you as a bit of a Xanatos gambit, and you just you're kind of coming out like guns a-blazing and proving you can work a crowd and that you have like legitimate ambitions and stuff like that. And Camarilla tend to play like a bit of a long game, when you can just like wait for a lot of your enemies to die. And it's you slowly accrue power. It's boat racing, like Camarilla, you make tiny adjustments upstream, and then downstream it's huge. And and the stream is obviously like a timeline in life in this metaphor.
Now
So
that's what we call pod racing. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. I have so many conflicts going on in my head right now. Yeah, so you basically just kind of like in so many words, he views you as a bit of a troublemaker. And that comes through, and there's a bit of an air of again, he's not like threatening you. He's not anticipating you. This isn't like he's like winking at you where he's doing. No, it's just like there's a menace to him, like underneath that surface that you pick up on. He is not happy. He is not like, he's like you kind of see the mask slip a little bit. And for those of you who have read his portfolio, well, also meta knowledge for those of you playing the home game, Son Newberry especially hates the people who see his mask slip. You may have just gained an enemy. Frenemy, perhaps. He did back you after all. And the fact that he backed you, I assure you, will come into play in vampire politics down the line. Oh, yeah, I backed her, but she betrayed me. And garner a sympathy vote. Like, all kinds of things he can twist that into. And speaking of twisting things, and Sashi, looks like you're hanging out. Oh, you've had time to consider your words to Annabelle now.
Anne is totally jet lagged and mildly exhausted. So
I could come back to you later, like you want.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really, if it didn't come then, it's not going to come now. Is there a certain amount of what Sasha knows? Because she has 2 dots in politics and like kindred politics specialty. Is there any hint you could give me as to what to do here so I don't have a total meltdown?
What's your
based on what she would know?
What's your best social score?
It's a 4 dot. Are you talking about my abilities or my skills?
4 dot manipulation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, manipulation, kindred politics. Roll it.
Thank you. Oh, this is totally going to be fine. All right. Just crossed for a crit. I really want this.
It's a wild chat appears. How's it going? How's it going, my friend?
1, 2, 3.
Shelly just
Um,
assumed direct control of the Ventru Primogen spot
2, 3,
in
4.
Chicago, and there will be consequences. She's got a lot of
successes.
allies, but within the Primogen Council itself, I suspect she's going to need to start wheeling and dealing to. Yeah. All right. What'd you get?
I guess I got to add a third dot to politics.
What'd you get?
5 successes.
5 successes. All right. What was your question? You
I
wanted a
just
hint
like what would
for-
be. I wanted a hint as to how to approach Annabelle because I am. My brain is not braining
at
today.
Elysium during this
At
rousing speech.
Elysium.
Yeah. So at Elysium
Like,
during this
it's-
rousing speech, you have an understanding that. Go ahead.
So Sasha wants to be discreet. That is the part here. Like I want to figure out a way to kind of
So
use Ashley's whole speech as like
cover.
a moment where
Yeah.
everyone's distracted, right?
Yeah. It's actually in theory, it's a really great way to converse and get across subtlety, because like if you're at her club and people have eyes on her club and they're if you meet her in secret, people are trying to anticipate, oh well, that's a secret meeting. So Elysium is a kind of a hiding in plain sight way to get information across. And a meeting at Elysium is never about what the meeting is at Elysium. And if you're good, you can use that to your advantage, i.e., roll some good dice. However, the danger comes in if you fuck it up. And now other people who you don't want to know things now know. And so you understand it's a high risk, high reward. Yeah, so you know that with your roll. Okay. In fact, it's a great idea. It really is. It's a fantastic idea. But you're going to be speaking a little bit. You're going to be speaking a little bit in code. Yeah, you're going to be speaking a little bit in code. You're going to be picking your moments and stuff like that. Like, it's literally like walking like, "Oh, how's the weather?" And "how's the weather" means something completely different, right? It's like having your hands
they built
like
they built an entire Auspex power based on double talk.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what you're doing. And holding your hands a certain way when you say one thing means you mean the opposite at all kinds of crap. Okay? But again,
code.
What was that?
Fan code in the 18th century, 18th and 19th century.
Like the fan.
Yeah, the fans. There's the whole way to hold your fan and everything like that.
I didn't. I don't think I consciously knew that. It totally tracks.
So,
but yeah. I probably should have known.
Yeah, Sasha.
Yeah. So essentially, I mean, it's a great idea if you succeed. One of the mistakes player characters often make is they don't take the care to ask that, and then are deliberate in saying they want to speak in code and they want to do that stuff, and they're just like, so the mission, blah, 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 and there's always somebody out there who wants you to fail at what you're trying to do, no matter what it is in kindred society. So that said,
I am going to potentially be very discreet about this, even though my brain is just like, I can't roleplay this tonight.
So what we're going to do is, this is where ROLL playing comes in. I personally don't know fan code, but we're going to assume that Sasha does. And so you're going to
holding
say,
a fan down.
I was using
how
the direct reference. But what you're going to do is you're going to say what you want to say, and then you're going to roll dice, and we're going to assume that it goes through some sort of, like, you have filtered that information because you want to filter that information, and Sasha would know how to do that through code and language,
but
and
whatever.
And
whatever she's learned from Annabelle specifically.
Right, and
like,
you have the
because
lore sheet for
tutelage.
Annabelle, so plus she's your primogen, and you have some backstory stuff.
All night.
Okay.
Yo,
So
thank
the
you so much
intent
for the
is to relay.
Yes. So you've
The
declared your
intent
intent.
is
Yep,
to
go ahead.
relay need to a need to say some important information discreetly, and also if she can be excused from Elysium and have like a permission to, well, not like she needs to leave Elysium, so it, like, try to relay that there's an emergency happening that she
So
to go check on,
so here's the thing is
just as a heads
you
up, so
don't
she's
really need
not
to
asking
excuse yourself from Elysium. Like you can come and go.
people.
Elysium is
Okay, that's
yeah.
fair. I don't know what the
I mean,
protocol
you
is,
don't
and I
you
don't know
don't like
Annabelle.
like you pick your moment to leave that is appropriate, where it's not like super
Yeah.
suspicious and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I just realized I didn't park my car here. Whatever.
Sure.
But basically, you want to use your lore sheet, so you're basically asking her advice in a matter.
Yeah.
And so, what's
Yeah.
the advice? What do you want to ask her? What's the advice in the matter? And then, fledgling vampires who want to learn the ins and outs of kindred politics often spend time working for Annabelle, which you have. Once per
Yeah.
story, you may ask for Annabelle's guidance on a particular matter. She may even decide to help you.
Yeah. So
So what's
she
the
wants to
particular matter you want help on?
That's the advice. Hey, I just learned about cult shit. What do I do next?
Let's
think
be
that's kind of the.
let's be a little bit more
No,
specific
but
than cult
no,
shit.
but
Like, yeah, go ahead.
she. No, but I don't want to tell her I did that. That seems like a bad idea.
Well, yeah, I mean, you also got to be careful what you're saying when you're,
No.
like that's just
No.
vampire
But like
politics,
in the
baby.
yeah, I know, but just that the particulars of a dangerous ritual has been brought to her attention. Something
Okay.
very vague, right?
Okay.
Just
Yep.
dangerous ritual
Mhm.
happening. What steps with this information? And I was like, I'm giving her this information basically. Like,
So yeah.
what? Like, yeah. So I'm not gonna go into too much detail, like, but yeah.
So a dangerous ritual, yeah. So a dangerous ritual has occurred. How do I
Or
proceed?
not
Go ahead.
no, not like, I'm not entirely sure if it has occurred yet. They said something about the full moon, so it's will occur.
Yeah, you're
it's
about
like
you're about 2 weeks out from it, essentially.
yeah, like so she's basically giving this intel to Annabelle, like, oh, this is happening in the next full moon, and I learned about it. What do we do? What should I do next? Yes, that's the.
All right. So you're going to roll a subterfuge and manipulation to sort of
Okay.
this is going to gauge how well you code your message to her, okay? And then that'll just code the conversation with her essentially.
Sure. 1, 2, 3.
To my mind, I understand like role playing, you want to be as in character as possible and stuff like that, but I think it's about a harmony. I don't know advanced calculus.
It's not.
But my character might, and I would like to roll dice to show that sometimes. And right now,
5 successes.
5 successes. Did you want to willpower and roll some more? Or?
No, it's
Okay.
fine.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll an amount of dice, because you are doing this at Elysium with a number of eyes on you who would be more specifically their eyes on Annabelle, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some on you. And I'm just going to roll an amount of dice that is sort of like a sort of distillate of all of the people who could be watching. And if we get into the danger zone, I'll determine who might know something after the fact. Perhaps someone dramatically relevant.
Yup.
All right.
Oh no, I just had a thought.
Good. All right. So, Annabelle, message received, and so you continue to have sort of a coded conversation with her on this matter. Well, do you know what the ritual entails or what it's meant to do? I suppose that would be something important to know.
Do I actually have I found out enough over the course of my investigation during the week? Because
You feel like the answers are at the
I
compound.
know
Like you feel like
I think that's what she would relay. She would relay
you feel free to speak in character if you'd like. We know it's coded, but like we can still.
yeah, it's like yeah, and Stasha will explain. Not so tuned into the ritual, but I know who's involved.
This wouldn't be in any way related to my third favorite club's unfortunate demise would attend the undead doppelganger. You know enough to when she says undead doppelganger, it's from the first night when Anders was. That's what she's referring to, and yes, it would be. You suspect it is related to that, yeah. Like the fact that there are like kindred who aren't getting ashed when they get killed, and then there's doppelgangers popping up. With you think there if it's not related, what the fuck? Like it's pretty. You feel like it absolutely is related.
I have my suspicions that have yet to be confirmed. I do know that okay. I have my suspicions that have yet to be confirmed, include involvement of my sire.
Ambrose. He likes to keep to himself. Well, you could always use the direct approach. He is your sire. You could ask him some questions, I suppose. You could ask him some questions and about whatever, mind you. I'm not saying ask him about the ritual. No, just, hey, sire, need some help here. And just poke around elsewise. You do have a coterie that's been and looking at like Ashley's current speech, and the crowd has done that thing where they've like drawn closer, right? Because their interest is in, you know, she's like, you have proven rather effective in a number of things. And I think that's where I'd call the A team. Is that still a relevant reference?
Don't worry about it. I have my reasons for keeping this close to the chest for now.
Well,
it feels like at least my part in it is a clan matter.
Well, my advice, of course, is to proceed with caution. Confirm your suspicions. Concrete evidence is always best. And certainly discern what they're doing. From there...
As it turns out, I've up a propensity for espionage myself. I will be discreet.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. There's a reason I've always liked you. Look,
With the
Sasha.
shotguns?
Believe it or not so much. It's other things. It's Tell you what. If you'd like, I can help you keep your hands less dirty. I ask, you've done plenty. I can look into your sire for you in a way that doesn't lead back to you if you'd like.
Not that
At the very
I
least, I could see what their ritual's about if your sire is involved. And you can choose where to go from there.
I would appreciate the assistance. This whole matter is personal to me.
Oh, that's the beauty of being kindred, dear. After a while, it all becomes personal.
Hmm.
What else do you have to unlive for apart from matters of personal interest?
There's a look on Sasha's face that looks like she's about to say something, and then she just
The
holds it back.
trick is to not let others know it's personal. And that is such a great line for foreshadowing, and you all have no idea why.
You can't just say that and then laugh.
You have to know. It's like I was so impressed with myself right there.
Oh my
I needed
god! Get
to.
out of
I
here.
needed to be. Look, I will. I will at the very least figure out what this ritual is about, and I will see if your sire's involved. And I will see what your sire's involvement may be, whether directly or indirectly. I'll relay that information to you with discretion as soon as I can, and you can decide from there what to do.
Sasha has one last thing she says.
Okay.
She says, the core of kindred existence involves not showing people who we really are. Involves not showing people who we really are at all times, but I would highly recommend digging a little deeper into Ambrose. I feel as though perhaps this is more than just standard kindred subterfuge.
Foreboding. And all I'll say is there's a reason of all of our traditions. The one we hold highest is, well, it's called the masquerade. It's to many of us, it's not just about keeping our presence secret from the kind anymore. I think that masquerade applies on all levels. But that's just me. You want to bookend your speech real quick, Ashley, and then we'll.
Sorry, this is all improv, baby.
Role playing improv?
Sure.
Go on.
You all might have thought this clan that I am part of was gone. The days and glory outside of our illustrious prince were behind us. William did not give a great example. But I am a Chicagoan through and through. The streets are my veins, and I intend to bring the glory back to my clan and to this city. Let us fight together once again. We might all hate each other on some cellular level, but there are a few things we can rally behind. Our existence and staying alive is one of them. Thank you again.
All right. I just
I
want
have
you to.
I have one last question, by the way.
Mhm.
When you're blood bonded to someone, can you kind of sense if they're injured?
I mean, it's more
I
of
don't know
a
how it works.
it's more of a narrative implication that you have like a feeling or a vibe, but it's not like anything concrete. It's not like it's like a telepathic link concretely
Am
or
I
anything
getting a
like that.
vibe?
You haven't been bonded long enough, really.
My okay. I'm
Like
just
your
curious
bond
because
strength
that
isn't like maxed out, and you haven't been bonded like super long. So it's like, but at some point it
okay.
becomes kind of like the twin connection, like how twins always, you know. Uh, but what I will
Okay.
say is when you said like this the cellular level thing, were this a film, it cut to, and we still hear your voiceover. We cut to somebody somewhere. We don't see the person. They're just like a silhouette performing vicissitude on a number of corpses. Like we get to see like on a cellular level, and you see like vicissitude happening in bodies and joints popping. It's cool horror because with a nice little like industrial like goth industrial sort of like undertone backing track, like just so wonderful. This is a moment. And as you say, like like let's fight type thing, we find ourselves back with Rory and Damon. Damon, you have initiative.
So as I'm watching what is happening to Rory, I'm having a thought in my head now of, well, sorry, Kate, but we can't just leave him like this. And I'm going to rouse the blood, and the shadow's going to slowly start creeping out of the sigil on the floor and start running up my body and around my forearm and hand. It's going to take the shape of being a black flame, and I'm going to attempt to grab the static man's wrist to see if I can get him to let go of Rory.
Attack, baby. Like, go ahead. Arouse your blood. Do this thing. Let's go.
Hey, man.
I believe in you.
I don't. I'm kidding. I totally do.
I believe in you.
You're gonna go ahead and grab
He's
him.
rolling like
You're my boy,
15
bro.
dice. It's
I'm
fine.
not 15. I'm only trying to touch him.
I don't know.
6 successes.
Oh,
Just a gentle reminder, like, hey, bro.
I'm gonna burn his ass with some oblivion.
Oh, touchy.
This is my wizard. Let
Dagger.
go.
This is my wizard. Nice. Is everyone fighting fighting over Rory? Tasha.
I hand that nerd.
how many did you get?
6.
I had a mere 4.
Let's go.
So, if it at all possible, it will deal 2 aggravated damage to him and cause his appendage to recoil, wither, however you want to describe the material he's made of.
Yeah. It inflicts damage. It sears in this black flame, and and you hear that like sort of high pitch, that white noise. It goes into like that sort of like cracking glass range, like of like ultrasonic, and so some some maybe the glass plate up above where some of the lighting hasn't, some of the lights, that the track light, that's the word I was looking for. Some of the track lighting up above that hasn't yet, fallen or whatever. I mean, they would have been installed pretty solidly. That stuff it's not been like 100 years. This place just couldn't sell, right? So some of the bulbs on the track lights all like explode as he hits that pitch. There are no sparks, however, because no electricity, so it's not as cool as it could have been. And he recoils. As this happens, Rory, you find your consciousness elsewhere.
Cool.
It's in the winter.
I meant to
Area
ask
of
you
the
this
Feywild.
off stream, so you had time to prepare, because I was aware you were about to get possessed by the Static Man and stuff. Like, there's just no way it wouldn't happen. And I was going to ask you what a future vision for Rory of sort of a bad end might be, or just no, it wasn't that. Sorry. What's Rory's worst fear? And it can't be related to Sasha.
What does Rory think about whenever he wants to die?
Yeah, what's because we have some shit with your sire going on. We've got some plates that we're spinning in the air, and I meant to ask you this offline. I'm really sorry.
Worst
it-
fear not
was a-
involving Sasha.
I have some
is-
ideas. I was going to freestyle some stuff, but I wanted your.
Yeah, it's a beautiful state-of-the-art laboratory filled with specimens of varying stripes, varying species, all
Mhm.
there to be played with.
Is Rory amongst them?
Rory is the doctor.
Interesting. So
His worst nightmare is becoming Robert, but better at it, because Rory's smarter than Robert ever was.
So you're all right. So imagine a a clean room, like a scientific clean room, state of the art. And it's our is state of the art, and just the knob turned a little bit more than what's possible.
Yeah.
A little bit more beyond our own reality's possibilities. So there's some extra shit in there. That
There's a wraith in a cage.
And despite this extra twist of the knob of possible technology, there's for whatever reason there's a CRT monitor hanging up in the corner that Rory, you are in your first person view mode, and and you have a sort of every now and then sort of a super sentience where you sort of step outside yourself, that dream sort of perspective where when you dream, you oftentimes are in first person, but then every now and then you snap out and you can kind of see a third person version of yourself that and so you're sort of wobbling between being Rory, and this is totally natural. This is how you exist as a person. Doesn't everybody have a first person perspective simultaneous to a third person one? That's how you experience reality, right? Everybody. This is how Rory experiences. Totally dream logic. The theater is gone. You don't even remember the theater. This wasn't a thing. You don't remember Damon. You don't remember Sasha. Just slipping into a dream, everything's backfilled. This is who you are and where you exist in this clean room. Everything makes perfect sense because it is dream logic, right? That CRT TV, that's just what you look up and talk to record your messages, right? That's where, specimen, 66B, and you look up and then and this is what you're doing. And so you look up at this, and there's, of course, this CRT TV happens to be all white noise and static on it. The ants fighting, as I always called it. So you see that image on that CRT TV, and then you have all these little specimen cages and containment. I shouldn't say cages. Cages puts a different image in mind. We'll say containment cells. I feel that's a little bit more appropriate. And at the center, you have a cold, uncaring steel slab with a in classic form, like a sort of white sheet over the top of it, right? And you're saying stuff to you look up to the monitor every now and then, and as one does in this reality, you look up to the CRT monitor and you say some stuff to it, and it just sort of like crackles back at you as if it's like acknowledging and conversing even with you. It sort of changes in pitch and tone. You even see the tracking line kind of like go down and up and back up, almost like it's sentient, right? And you walk past a wraith in a cage, and it's a thought form. Actually, it's sort of like as you approach it, it's a sort of like a malleable smoke, and then it is sort of like as your perspective changes as the camera, our mind's eye. I always say the camera, but it's as our mind's eye sort of goes with you, and anytime that like a different cell would interrupt or break our line of sight as we move, that smoke is just something else. At sometimes it's like it's playing the hits, classic like scary child with a red ball, like any pick your favorite 13 of the 13 ghosts, either version in there, and it just every time and it's just sort of trying to take on these different forms that would be terrifying. And each time this little light panel of lights clicks on in sort of different arrangements, and you almost hear like a vacuum sound and then it screeches in pain, uh, and the lights reconfigure and stuff, and it just the next time it returns to this sort of like smoke like form, it just sort of almost seems more diluted, and it just this continues, right? You think to yourself, I wonder, what is a wraith afraid of, and you tap on the glass as you walk past, right? And you have this table. This one's very urgent, though. All these other wondrous things. The dragon fang will have to wait. You're fairly certain you can extract some DNA from it yet, but that's for another time. No, this slab. This is the most important thing in the room. You have control of yourself. You have agency again.
All right.
And you are this bad version of yourself. So go ahead. I give you a moment to settle into character if need be.
What do we
Oh.
have? No. Go to move the covering.
You see Robert. A handiwork real Rory is familiar with, right? With the splayed open rib cage and stuff like that. But you've done it better. You've improved upon it.
Lovely.
Robert's eyes open. And he looks at you. As you greet him, I'm proud of you.
You don't get to say that.
No, I made you. And I must apologize.
I was always better than you.
And that's why I must apologize. Rory is Rory again in this reality. You are yourself in this body, looking down at some crude tools in your hands.
What the fuck? Where am I?
All the other noises of the specimens in the cages is drowned out by the sound of static coming from the monitor above you. It's almost looming, hanging. You can feel it staring at you, and it's got a gravity to it. Your voice gets drowned out, like the volume is being turned up gradually. Just like, you know.
What?
It goes black. Well, that sort of greeny, you know, the CRT. And you see a reflection of yourself in it. And your eyes begin to get scribbled out as if somebody somewhere is rapidly dragging like a Sharpie across an old photograph, and it hurts. We're back with Damon. You saw Rory's face twist into a sadistic grin you have never seen before. You can't even fathom him grinning like that because he's such a, in your mind, like, you know, well, you know what he's like in Damon's mind, right? And then he begins to scream, and his arms, which had been sort of suspended in his own blood as if, you know, sort of anchored down, one of them snaps free and the blood almost rips, you know, like an old sheet or something, and he grabs his eyes unintentionally from some pain. The static man has recoiled, his head now at you. He lunges with his other arm towards you. The other one's, you know, withered behind. And again, it just sort of ringoos into like towards your face. You can roll some dice here, some combat. You are convinced that the circle is working in some manner. It's not sending him away, but you have just from like the way he moved in the basement and elsewhere, like it's like he's kind of moving through like, you know, like water, and he's just like, he just seems slower, he seems more clumsy. If a being that just kind of like jaunts his arms into different places can be clumsy.
I am going to attempt to deflect his hand with the hand that I used to burn his wrist.
Okay. So we're gonna do a brawl off here. I won't willpower, but I might suggest that you do on this roll.
Bum bum.
All right. 11 with a messy crit.
Good. So since you're sort of using that fire hand and melee combat, you kind of like, you're always kind of, your defense is also offensive in vampire. You deal the differential in damage, and it is again 2. Plus, you know, so the differential between my offense and yours is 2. So you get 11, I got 9. So yeah, and then
No,
so
it
you
always
did,
just does 2.
yeah, well, yeah, I guess you always do 2 ag damage, right? That's what the ability
Yeah, it
does.
doesn't go above that.
Which is kind of how they balance a lot of those that just do ag damage now. It's like they just do 2.
Wait till we get Fist of Cain and we start fisting stuff.
Or the cool,
Then it'll go all the way up.
or the cool blood sword one where it becomes the, yeah.
We're not to that level yet.
No,
17 fists deep.
I have been throwing
Double fist.
You're not 17 fist deep. Soon. So you like, it kind of like lunges, and you basically like grab the arm as he grabs you, and you sort of pry it away. It's like moving air. It is so weird. Like and it takes strength to do it, but then it doesn't track. Like, you know, I should be exerting, and you are, but again, it's like moving air. Like, you know, Matt, you know, like sort of arm wrestling nothing, right? You're tensing your muscles, and you can see it burn, and this other arm burns and recoils and withers, and it sort of like staggers backwards, and the static goes everywhere. Another sort of high-pitched whine echoes and reverberates out. It is in the process of regrowing its limbs and launching them into the boards of the stage. However, you have it's Yorgo and then Rory's respectively, and then
So when it goes backwards, and I know Rory's making all these weird, funny faces at me, I'm going to attempt to grab Rory and leave expediently.
do you grab him with your fire hand?
No. I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Fireball to the fucking back, and now his fire hand to the fucking body.
It's Oblivion hand, okay? We got trademark differences.
That's true.
For now.
For dramatic purposes.
To diablerize Rory.
Hey, wait a minute! I get first dibs.
He won't know any different. He's making faces.
God damn it!
Sorry, Sash, we lost your boyfriend in the fire. I don't know what happened.
Hey, it would free you up to date Soren without any guilt.
But for
And I
some
can start
reason,
doing my
Damon smells like
rituals
Taco Bell
myself.
forever.
Yeah, Damon.
Gas station food.
That's how we know he deauthorized Rory, because he's just permanently
Guys, it's really
Taco Bell.
shitty.
That
Talk
meme
like
that's going on
7-Eleven hot
TikTok
dogs
right
sounds
now.
great.
I won't tell anybody that I won the lottery, but there will be signs, and it's like I didn't tell anybody that I diablerized somebody, but there will be signs.
Yeah.
Oh my
Terrible
God.
garbage food sounds delicious.
Mm.
That's how we know. That's how you get found out.
Oh man, that's so funny. All right, you have to wrench him from this this magic sigil, and as you do so, you notice
We
that
can
like
leave his arm. He'll grow back later.
he will.
The fuck?
You guys didn't watch Blade? Just chop his arm off. Let him grow back. He'll heal eventually.
I got a new one. He just chops it off immediately. It's so
The fuck is this
It's so
shit?
good.
No.
You haven't seen the OG. It's so good.
I like my arm the way it is. Thank you.
Well, it'll be back in a couple days. It'll be fine.
Yeah. You always return for better.
You heal that
or
ag damage, bro.
Yeah. So you sort of wrench him from the circle, and as you do, you notice the static man sort of like waver in and out. It's like the very same magic that allowed you to sort of trap and channel and deal with it also allowed it. It was what's a good metaphor? Well, maybe I'll just leave it off there. It's the same magic that actually allowed you to weaken it also allowed it to seize control of Rory.
It's using back channels. What a dick.
Came in my back door?
Yeah,
God damn it,
buddy.
Michael.
As
Yeah.
You were an ass clown puppet.
as long as you're only seven fists, as long as you're only seven fists,
Yeah, 7 fists
in the
deep,
back door.
yeah.
Yeah, 17
Listen,
fists.
this
Sorry.
is stressful.
As you wrench him away from the circle and sort of launch out, the static man throws his fists into the stage, and the boards begin popping up, and basically like they're chasing you in this wave of destroyed set pieces and crazy Alice in Wonderland, just like this MC Escher on steroids, horrible. Well, MC Escher on acid, well, even more acid.
Super acid.
Like just coming after you. Rory's experience of this is it's really difficult to describe. Like tripping the riff and for a moment glimpsing the weird, like just untapped, unchanneled, like see, like, you don't see the default state of Fae. They're unknowable. They're way more Cthulhian horrors than they are like fairy tales. They're again, it's like thought forms that are given sense because people need them to make sense. And for a moment, Rory is completely untethered to sense. Like, seeing the reality beyond the real. I'm a pretty damn good writer, but I can't describe what Rory is experiencing right now. It is horrifying,
The sound of purple.
but also wondrous. And just for a moment, that sort of the world is, it's like when you're looking at the world, like it's like trying to watch a film and getting used to it to like dealing with the scan lines and it being like kind of out of focus and shitty on an antenna, right? And just like dealing. And then somebody came along and just whacked it and it's in crystal clear high definition. Like the world is static. There's something else underneath it, and just for a fragment of a second you see its horrible, wonderful face. Just for a second. And it puts you in fucking torpor.
Oh. Then I won't. Never mind. I won't do anything. Good night.
You can say shit as you're like exiting stage right, literally. Like literally. Like you come to like in that moment between, and you see it and you're looking back at Static Man and you don't see this horror creature. You know, for a moment you see a tragic creature here against its will, and the tethers that it was trying to like latch onto you and put into you are but chains it is burdened with and trying to be rid of.
Oh, this is dumb. Before I black out, can I rip the chains? Binding it? Or weaken them?
I will allow you to manipulate a link into your palm as you like black out.
All right.
From Damon's perspective,
You better fucking succeed, motherfucker.
you see
I
Rory
swear to
like
Christ.
just sort of like reach out a hand and then like slunk down and like kind of clasp his fist one way or another. And he's in torpor. He is in, I mean, there's the day sleep and torpor are very similar, but he's day sleeping right now without it being daylight out. So you can assume he's somehow like torpored, which that's pretty impressive to just like do it like that. You know, no preparation, no ritual, like no. He's dead weight. There's fucking rigor mortis setting in and shit already. Like depending on how old you are. Well, you're not. Rory's not that old, so.
I don't know. As I'm running out, I'm thinking Kate would be so mad at me right now. I should not be sticking around saving random Tremere.
Roll your manipulation. I'm just curious. You got it.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I think that was for me.
No. I'm talking to Scott.
What do you mean?
Kate, what?
I said Kate's gonna be so mad at me saving random Tremere.
Who the fuck is Kate?
You don't know yet. You haven't met her yet.
She hot? Sorry, that's an important question.
That part. If she's gonna be a BBG,
Obviously,
she hot
she's
at
in a
least.
vampire miniseries on CW.
Can I rouse
She-
in this moment?
she's hot.
No, because I want it to be higher stakes.
This is gonna
Bro, you're
change
making my job a lot
everything.
harder. That's all I'm saying.
She better fucking win.
If he keeps failing, it's not my fault he doesn't make it back.
I mean, T.
I was never gonna blame you. I cannot be held responsible for all the buffoonery I will do in response to this.
And willpower to reroll 2 whole dice.
So Scott, when you have a chance, check the video chat. Mm-hmm.
God. Was there? Yeah, I think so. 4 successes, possible bestial failure.
I will say you get but 11 from your perspective.
Mhm.
And
That's fine.
as you fall, as you having glimpsed the godhead, like, or whatever, is so alarming. It sends you into like a torpor, like essentially like vampire shock, right? Like you go into torpor. We will call it there.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh wait, we do see Damon. We do see Damon at Elysium. Like our last shot is of Elysium dispersing, and Damon was at Elysium, you know, and and Rory's recovering at the coterie house.
Hey, I can revive him. I have a higher
I
blood
can
potency than
fix
he
it.
does. I can fix
I
him.
can fix this.
I can. We can determine that offline. We can determine it.
We need to have conversations and a proper
What happened to stop
decompression.
cucking us, Andrew?
What? What did I do?
You edged us again. You
No,
cucked us.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I just I got the timelines back together, but there should be some conversation a little bit because a week's a long time.
No, you ruined everything.
How did I ruin everything? What did I
Sorry,
do?
I'm laughing and crying at the same time. I don't know if you can tell the weird noises I made.
I don't know, like 36 hours straight of being awake are probably, you know. But I feel I
went
am
to sleep.
reckless if I
4
don't let
hours
you.
of sleep.
I feel like I'm actually endangering you if I don't like let you sleep and stuff. And I need time
went
to
sleep.
prepare.
Michael can vouch for it.
I'm not certain.
did
I
go
wasn't
to
certain how
sleep.
this would all. I wasn't certain how all this would all like come together last week. You know, and I so I'm
I
actually
don't need-
very pleased with this because there were some like subtle info dumps. We got some like character progress, and I think we got character growth out of Damon too because Damon saved somebody. And for that reason,
that wasn't on the bingo card.
Wait. Damon saved Ashley that one time.
I feel like
Yeah, no, there was a lot of blinking.
I feel like this is a more dangerous situation.
I also helped kill a gargoyle that
Directly
was
to David.
That's true.
Yeah, no.
I'm a guy did it.
No.
Yeah, like
Damon
seems
Damon's
mean, but
decent.
he's actually like that's
No, he's decent. Sasha
got that
respects
soft center.
Damon.
well, no, like he's also the
They
youngest
were-
too. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe
He
I
still
don't know.
has like lots of humanity in him,
Maybe.
supposedly.
All right, let's.
We don't know that. That's
let's-
questionable.
Allegedly.
I thought it was really funny when you guys kept talking about how like vampires don't show their true selves and all this stuff, and I'm over here going, Yup.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, awesome Oblivion
Big one of
powers,
notes today,
and
guys.
you have there, Gangrel.
like,
Ah,
I'm like, man, we're really on the nose
Sorry.
tonight, guys. You guys don't even realize it.
There was
Fucking
so
damn
much
it.
with the masquerade line. Like one, I had to like the game is called Vampire the Masquerade. I have to say the name of the game.
At
Like,
least
I-
one.
He
At
said
least
the name of the
one.
game. Yeah, but there was a line in there where I'm like, okay, I have to stop the drama to pat myself on the back. That's how good that line is, and you have no idea. But like,
I might have an idea.
it's the sort of
have any
thing.
Motherfucker.
idea.
All right. And who are you, and where can Chat Gang find you when they're not enjoying the torment I have visited upon you on Tuesday nights?
And find me here. This is the best place to find me. Do my best work here.
She's like this.
Twitter. Go find me on Twitter. I am tired.
My best work, everyone.
XO_girl wonder. Just tired. I am normally a lot more energetic, and I don't know, 3 cups of coffee wasn't doing it for me today, so
That coffee
sorry
does
about that.
anything for you is a marvel to me.
I
I just
coffee for me is a drink in case of emergency sort of thing. Like if I really, really need to be on my A game.
yeah, I drink Red Bull is the only energy drink that works on me,
I'm-
and that's because it
I'm-
tastes disgusting, and the disgustingness wakes me up.
I'm not allowed to have energy
It's like
drinks
smelling
after
salts for
that
my taste
one
buds. Shit for me.
incident. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to have energy drinks after a very specific incident. Anyway, yeah. So Twitter. Go find me on Twitter. I'll tell you all the stuff over there
and-
because
yeah.
Mhm.
I have a lot of stuff going on.
And who is our player of Ashley Dame, our the new Ventru Primogen of Chicago?
Hi everyone, I'm Shelly Von Miller. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Shelly Von Miller. I've been your Ventru Primogen for the night. By the way, that was not the plan. At least not this season. But hey, Andrew likes to surprise me.
I wonder if the season's coming to a close soon.
Oh, I don't know.
And
I don't.
and
I'm
to set up
not the
season
producer
2.
here. I'm just here to give moral support. You can find me everywhere. Yeah. On the internet, and yeah, I sometimes play games on my channel, to include D&D. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Scott. I like everyone's so like fragged from the adventure that I play games and
I play
watch
games
me
and
and
stuff.
find me on Twitter. Scott, how's it going?
I'm mostly playing games that aren't online, like Warhammer 40K, and playing with my Chaos Demons.
Cool. I've got here's the Necromancer I still need to prime. I made it. It's a batch.
I finished painting all my Soulblight finally, just in time for Shorn to come out.
Perfect. Rory.
Yeah, hi, I'm Michael. You can find me on the internet at Sub-Zero Jalapeno. There's things and stuff there. I have been Rory. I have been the Static Man. Might still be. Maybe you have a cool bracelet now. Cool static bracelet. Let's find out next time.
I
Static
can't
Scar.
wait for you to find what you actually ripped from him. Yeah, like you ripped the chain, but like the chain is what you saw, but what does it look like in reality? And how you almost also had your eyes like static gouged, like Janet Wicks, and what Rory's brain exploded onto the wall would have looked like. Because her
No, I don't wanna
creativity
think
got
about
blown up
that.
on the wall, and like
I don't.
Also, can we
Do not wanna
discuss
talk about
how Rory's eyes keep trying to get plucked out?
It has happened a couple times now. Yeah, it is a thing.
the one time was because it was a great visual pun, right? Like the whole, you will see nothing. Like that was a pun. I couldn't not. It was a visual pun. This was, horror relevant to the whole thing that I set up like forever ago with the eyes. Those are accidental. Sorry. The next person whose eyes get gouged out will not be yours.
Will still be
Unless,
Rory. Yes.
yeah, I can't make those promises. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can't make the promises. It'll be Rory's again.
That'll be in his
We
new
did
kink that he
spend
shares with
like a
Sasha.
whole hour the last time game was canceled talking about like, oh yeah, no, definitely this is definitely going to happen. Rory's gonna get possessed.
So illustrious leader, who are you? Where can the people find you?
Oh, didn't we already
Yeah.
ask Anne that stuff?
You, Andrew, you
Unreliable narrator. Who the fuck are you?
Cool. I'm the magical Mr. Mephisto, an alleged lich IRL who loves telling stories in all kinds of forms, especially RPG forms. I sometimes play video games on my stream here, and I'm going to be playing a Power Ranger pretty soon over on Anne's channel.
We'll talk about that later when I'm less brain dead.
I don't know if you've announced it yet officially, so I'm sorry if I ruined it. Shit.
I'll get around to it.
I'm gonna
Fine.
ask my editor to edit out that part for the VOD.
Anne's the editor. Hey,
Fine,
editor Anne. Editor
I'll
Anne.
I'll cut it in post. I'll cut it in post.
Yeah, you'll cut it in post. Thanks. But yeah, you know, I'm everywhere on the internet at Mephisto Mori now. I consolidated because people kept taking my shit. So I had to consolidate. It works. It's great. But yeah, you know, smash the like and subscribe button with your soul. So that the Static Man can visit you in your dreams and bring you other people's dreams as a gift. That's what's yeah, the gift of other people's dreams.
Man, I don't know if Rory wants to see what Sasha's dreams are like.
It's like being John Malkovich, except like except instead of like everyone's Malkovich, it's like Rory and Soren.
All right.
You ever see-
Get out of my brain.
I don't know. Rory may have picked up a new kink of scratching out eyeballs, so Sasha might want to be careful.
Yeah.
Except so
it's fire and eyeballs,
I
baby.
need, okay, but like no, neither one of those things are good. What the
So,
fuck?
Cat
I
Gang,
need a proper decompression.
this is where I tell you, thank you so much for joining us this fine evening. Remember to drink your milk, pay your taxes,
Your ability milk, even.
be excellent to yourselves and each other, and we
put
will catch
eyeballs on your fingers like olives. Bye.
Yeah, eyeballs on your fingers like olives.
Bro.
Woo! That's what I always thought. That's what I always thought. The Beetlejuice scene when he does that with his. I thought they were olives. I always thought that's what it was when I was a kid.
Latte.
Little did you
Good
know.
night, everybody.